Hello, welcome at African Other Television. This is MuyukuTalk. I'm Willy M, and today we're receiving Willy Gakunzi.
Our guest today, Willy M. Gakunzi. Willy M. Gakunzi, the founder of Heart of Worship in Action Foundation, is a father of two beautiful daughters. For years, he engaged youth and people around him to engage in life-changing actions. Mr. Gakunzi holds a master's degree in international economics and business from the University of Utrecht in the Netherlands and is a certified functional business architect from Sevora Institute and University of Antwerp in Belgium. Mr. Gakunzi acts as a specialized consulting manager and project manager at Wolters Kluwer with extensive experience working and advising financial institutions around the globe. Mr. Gakunzi works with financial institutions, helping them to find ways to navigate through the complexities around risk and finance data in order to comply to their finance and risk compliance and regulatory reporting requirements in different supervisory guidelines. In addition to raising two daughters and being a full-time professional, Mr. Gakunzi is also a songwriter and a worship leader. He's led and founded worship teams around the globe. Mr. Gakunzi is a strong believer in the gospel of Jesus Christ that transforms lives. Mr. Gakunzi's motivation is to empower people, especially the youth and those that are less fortunate, to unlock potential inside them and change the course of their lives for good. Mr. Gakunzi believes that regardless of where you live and the life conditions you might be in, when you have direct access to capital and adequate skill set, you can take action that will change the course of your life for good.
How are you, sir?
Good. How are you?
Happy to have you here in our studio today.
Thank you for having me.
Last time you had a very big event about an organization. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yes. So thank you again for having me here, William. Last 2 weeks, I believe, November 23rd, we had our official public launch event for our newly started organization, foundation called Heart of Worship in Action Foundation. It turned out to be a very successful one. This was to launch the foundation. I started last year when I had a tragic experience, if I may use the word, when my wife passed away. So I started this foundation to carry on the projects we had and also to honor her memory.
The organization is called Heart of Worship in Action. What is it about exactly?
Yes, so Heart of Worship in Action Foundation, to me, it's one, carrying out the project we had, but as the name states, it is an expression of the ultimate purpose for our living. My wife and I shared many things together, but mainly worship and love for people. We always wanted to impact other people. And we had this project we wanted to start called Heart of Worship, through music, through acts of love. But then once she passed away, I wanted to put that into actions because the projects were on hold for so long. So I added the name of the word action. So it is a heart of worship, the heart she had. She loved worshiping God as a believer, but also she loved people. So I wanted to carry that on to honor her memory, but also to make sure those projects are actually fulfilled. And
what are exactly the projects?
So the projects we have, we mainly focus on 3 areas. The mission of our organization is to bring change in one's life through acts of love that would result in actions that changes life forever.
Like by giving people money or what?
Yes, so we will be spreading the acts of love, as I said.
Yes, because acts of love is too big, so
exactly.
I want to know exactly how do you intend to spread that act of love?
Yes, so the acts of love will be asked in 3 areas. we focus on empowering youth,
Okay.
empowering those people who are less fortunate in our communities, and by that I mean victims of sexual violences. It could be women and men, young and old, single parents and orphans. But the third pillar of our foundation is organizing what we call worship conference in actions that will involve skills development, concerts, and developing people's skills and talents. And whatever comes out of that will be used to finance or support the organization operations. And
where do you operate? Because right now we're in Canada. Do you just operate in Canada? Because that day, I know you born in Congo,
yes.
you live in Rwanda for some time, and then you went in another country, which I forget,
yes.
before you come to Canada. So you are international in you. Correct. So are you going to operate in all those countries or just in Canada?
Yeah, that's a good question. I describe myself as a world citizen. I've lived in more than 5 countries in 3 continents. But our main region of focus for now will be Congo and Rwanda, but also in Canada. And in the future, our vision is really to expand worldwide, because acts of love are not limited to a given place. But why Rwanda and Congo? Because I'm originally from Congo. I've lived in Rwanda.
For those who don't know, Willy and I'm William, he's Willy. We are all born in the east of Congo, so please continue.
So both from the South Kivu, you're from the Uvira zone, I'm from the Fizi, south of Uvira. So having been born there, I have the responsibility to contribute to the advancement of the economy, but of our people as well, because they need so much. But also my wife was from Rwanda, and I've lived in Rwanda, and it's a country that I hold dear to my heart. So I think having the foundation focus first on those 2 countries, it makes a huge difference. But also here in Canada, I live in Canada, and the organization itself is based in Canada, so we'll be having the same activities as well.
So you're based in Canada, you'll be doing your activities in Congo and Rwanda. What are the challenges?
This is a new foundation just we started. It was incorporated in Canadian law in Ontario this year, and we just launched it publicly, so we've started operating. In December, actually in 2 weeks, I'm traveling to Rwanda to launch it there and carry out some of the missions. I will be visiting a few people we have identified and support them in their projects. And then Canada will mainly be, it's our head office, the headquarters, but the activities in the near future will be really down there in Rwanda and Congo.
Actually, when I asked about the challenge, I wanted you to tell me also about how do you gonna finance. I know you touched a little bit about it, but if you can elaborate a little bit again, how you gonna, because sometimes when something is just in Canada, it might be a little bit easier. But now when it's out of Canada, that's something else.
True. Financing, it's a big challenge. So far, I've been able to finance all the projects we've carried out by my self-funding, if I may.
Which is not easy.
Which is not easy. Yeah. As I said, I'm a single parent, but thank God I've been able to do what I've been doing. But we intend to carry out funding activities. I mentioned organizing concerts. We will be doing campaigns, participating in marathons. But also, I'm intending really to focus on our communities, people from those countries. I think we have responsibilities to do something and to make sure we're contributing back. And most of the time, people don't know how to channel their funding or their help. So having an organization that focuses on solving issues, and we have a targeted group. We will be carrying out a project to make sure we incentivize people to participate, but also we'll be applying for funds from different organizations. It's a process, but we've started, and we hope God will open doors and get funding.
Yes, that's very good. Can you tell me, what do you see yourself in 5 years?
In 5 years, I have...
Start with 2 years and then 5 years.
Yes, so one of the goals I had this year was to have the foundation set up, which I've achieved. And I had a goal to make sure that the launch is done here in Canada publicly, but also in Africa, so which is also being achieved. November we launched, and December we're launching in Rwanda. Next year, similar, I mean, on the side, I'm also working on an album, which is part of the projects we had, my wife and I. And all the yields from that album will be going to funding the organization.
So you're working on an album, are you a singer?
I am a singer, I'm a worship leader, and I'm a songwriter. So that is one of the plan in the near future. Down the road, up to 5 years, I'm hoping to build a training center. I haven't really decided where, but most probably it will be in Rwanda, or because of the situation back home, it's not stable yet. But that center will be for training, professional training, talent development, like counseling center where people who have gone through different issues such as sexual abuse, we have counseling and, you know, sort of community center, but also organizing conferences. So in 5 years, I want to have that center running.
Before we finish our show, as I said in the beginning, I did participate on the launch of the organization, and there was one guy who really sing, and I really love it. So just listen to it a little bit. Welcome back again at African Other Television. It's MuyukuTalk, and we are having a very special guest, Mr. Willy Gakunzi. As you have seen a clip about the launch of the organization, I would like him to tell us the last word.
Thank you, Muyuk. This organization is really dear to my heart. One, for two main reasons. One, because I believe in a continuation. I don't think that God put something in our heart just to pack it there. So all the projects I had together with my wife and what she had, I'm willing and I'm committed to carry them on. I don't know how much time I have, but until I pass the torch to the next generation. That's number one. Number two, I am a full believer of one concept. If you have access to capital and knowledge, you can definitely engage in actions that will change your life. So I'm willing, and this is the mission of this organization, to make sure that we equip people, especially people back home, with knowledge, but also access to capital. Number three, I know and I'm fully convinced that not only having funds from outside, but within ourselves, we can make a big change. So I'm calling to all my listeners, join our effort at Heart of Worship in Action Foundation. You can contribute in any ways, your know-how, money, or your time. We need advice, experts who are out there we can channel this and make a big change. There are so many ways of contributing. We have a website up and running. It's howfoundation.org. Under there we have donation. We take all sorts of credit cards. We have e-transfer. You can use money transfer. And it's actually preferred because we don't have to pay transaction fees. It goes directly to our foundation account. But also you can call in and visit us at our office and do the donation. But mainly, we're not looking only for money donation, but we need your know-how, your expertise, and your time. Join the effort, and we can make a big difference. Play your part.
Ce fut un plaisir recevoir Monsieur Willy, donc because we are French at the same time, so that's why I have to say something in French.
Merci, merci. Bienvenue.
Ce fut vraiment un plaisir vous recevoir à Africa Canada Télévision.
Merci
so
beaucoup.
We are looking forward to have you again in the future, maybe in that 5 years.
Definitely we should, and I'm looking forward to have an event back in Uvira. And when I will be in Rwanda December, I'm planning actually to meet some people in Uvira.
It was Willy M for MuyukuTalk. See you next time.